We're going back to the waiver wire. We're going deep at wide receiver today, going right down the list. We had some injuries happen this week. We lost some wide receiver ones. We're going to have some wide receivers this week jumping up the board. We also had some wide receivers do some work this week. We're going to cover them in today's video, but before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. This is the second waiver wire video of the day. We go deeper on the waiver wire than anybody else on YouTube. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, tomorrow, the day after, talking about the waiver wire. We're going to help you set your lineups by looking at the matchups and doing player rankings. We're doing deep dives on all the trending players throughout the week so you know more about those players so you can make your decisions. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. But to be the man, you got to be the man. And to be the man, sometimes the starting wide receiver has to go down. You're looking at Wan'Dale Robinson, and he might be the man in this offense when it comes to the volume of targets because he's been getting work. 5 targets last week, 4 the week prior, 10 against the Cowboys, 8 against Washington. We still have Jackson Dart there. Jackson Dart's very volatile. We're still trying to figure him out. But there's volume in this offense. They're going to be in some weird game scripts. He's been out there getting targets. He has some upside in this offense, but he should already be rostered in a lot of leagues. If that's the case, Darius Slayton as well. He's going to be anointed. He's going to be getting more opportunities. 4 targets against the Chargers, but Malik Neighbors is gone, and he's going to be getting the deep balls downfield. He should be racking up a double-digit ADOT, getting deep targets downfield routinely. I think he's going to be a boom-bust play every single week. You're either going to get 5 or a big play out of him to get you to 25, and you never know when that's going to happen. Malik Washington enters the chat. We've been talking about him off and on this season. Tyreek Hill is done, and he was the third wheel of this offense. Ran 17 routes Monday night. 25 week 3, 24 week 2, 26 week 1. So he's been getting volume. He's been out there running routes, not getting a ton of volume in targets. 3 targets against the Jets, 5 against Buffalo, 2 against the Patriots, 5 against the Colts. My big worry about him is he doesn't get deep targets downfield, so he's going to have to rack up catches. Devin Achen's going to get the work. Waddle's going to get the work. Darren Waller looks like he's going to ascend in this offense, so there may not be enough pie for him to go around, so he's going to have to rack up catches and touchdowns for him to be fantasy viable. With how many routes he's running and the fact that he's getting 3 to 5 targets a game, there's a chance we cross the goal line a few times this season. Also, Nick Westbrook. Now, he's not going to run as many routes as Washington, and he's probably not going to be targeted as much, but what we've seen from him historically with other teams, good in the red zone. Good in the red zone, getting red zone targets. He could splash a few weeks. He could be a splashy upside wide receiver. There's other wide receivers to look at that also has that splash to him that has more upside. You're seeing Waller ascend. You're seeing Waddle get a lot of targets. You're seeing Achan get a lot of targets. But one of these wide receivers have to step up. You saw his routes increase in week 4. That's an indicator that he might be stepping up, and he's an unknown going forward in this offense. Romeo Doubs, 3 touchdowns. Everybody's going to chase him. And he's a get off the waiver wire almost every week. He's not going to be in next week's waiver wire video because I expect you guys to pick him up after scoring 30 and getting 3 touchdowns, 8 targets. Out of the Packers wide receivers, he's the safest one. He's your safest bet. They're all gambles due to the carousel effect this team has. Any wide receiver can get it on any given Sunday, but he's the safest one. He should be the pickup for the Packers wide receivers. Dontayvion Wicks has upside. He's getting the deeper, harder to convert targets, but he has a lot of upside in this offense because of that. But 4 to 6 targets a game. He's getting volume. He's on bye next week, but still a wide receiver to pay attention to. I would try and pick him up in week 5 as we're playing Cincinnati, then Arizona on the road. I wouldn't want to hoard him on the bye week since you got lineups to set, and he's not a premier upside stash. But Dontayvion Wicks is always a wide receiver to pay attention to off the waiver wire, considering the carousel effect for the Green Bay Packers. Elic Ayomanor, I expect him to be rostered. I had a lot of start-sit questions with him, but he's also in a lot of waiver wire articles. He's run a lot of routes. He's getting a lot of targets. The lowest has been 5 on the season, but he's rocking 6 to 7 targets a game. That's good volume. He's hit 2 out of his 4 games. That's really solid for a rookie wide receiver playing with a rookie quarterback. You got Arizona, you got the Raiders, you got the Patriots, you got the Colts coming up. You got some good matchups here, some game scripts. He's due to score more touchdowns. Wouldn't be surprised if he finished the season with like 6 or so touchdowns this year. He's a get. He's not going to be safe due to the quarterback playing offense, but he's a get. He's getting workload. Also, Troy Franklin, similar light. He's only hit once this year. He almost got you to the fairway last night. 8 targets, 4, 9, 6. I expect him to be rostered, but I also expect him to get dropped, too, in a lot of leagues. He's running a lot of routes. He's out there on the field. He's getting a lot of targets. Sometimes that's going to hit, sometimes it's not, because Courtland Sutton is just sucking up volume. Josh Downs, he's being returned to the waiver wire in a lot of leagues. He's running a fair amount of routes, less compared to previous seasons. 17, 23, 16, and 25, 81 routes on the season. ADOT's always short, so he has to rack up targets. He has to rack up catches. I can't see him going a full season without a touchdown. So soon you're going to have to make those touchdown bets with Josh Downs. He hasn't scored one yet. He has to score at least one this year. He can't go a full season getting games with 8 targets, 5 targets. He's got a couple downers in there and not getting a touchdown. He's getting volume. He's a good wide receiver. If you're looking for a random pickup and Josh Downs is there, he's always a good bet. Jalen Tolbert, 12 targets in the last 2 games. 42 routes in week 3, 34 in week 4, 35 in week 2, but that's that Giants game that scored over 80 points. Jalen Tolbert's getting volume. He's due to score a touchdown with this volume. He might score one pretty soon. Some teams are going to shut down George Pickens up top, and Jalen Tolbert's going to get some work. He can convert. This team likes him. They've kept him around. Had an 8 out of 18 last week. Has been rocking 7.8, 7.8, and 8 when it comes to depth of target. He doesn't need to get it deep because you got George Pickens. 11.2, 8 out on the season. But he can get deep as well. He can make big plays. The volume's there. So would Turpin. 28 routes ran in week 4. 33 in week 3. He's getting carries and rushing attempts. He's got speed to burn. He's good in deeper leagues or as a dart throw in your lineups in random games. I like Turpin for that. He's always going to have that upside because Cowboys are just going to be in crazy games. Tory Horton, 2 fantasy points in week 4, but the 2 weeks prior, 11 and 18. So he at least got you to the fairway in 2 out of his first 4 games as the wide receiver 3. So there's going to be some matchups where he hits. So if you're playing 16 games if we don't count week 1, I guess, since we got a nothing burger there, he's going to give you something on 8 of those games, according to this pace. Small sample, but he's a rookie. He's going to be the deep threat here. Cooper Kupp goes down. He's going to anoint himself. Has a good prospect profile from Colorado State. Has some fire game scripts coming up. He could be a guy you pick up and stash. Isaiah Bond has been trending up. The quarterback play has not. Dylan Gabriel, more than likely the starter. Hasn't been officially announced, but it has been announced. 27 routes in week 4, 22 week 3, 20 in week 2. And he's been with the team barely a month. Barely a month. And we're already racking up routes. Tillman's out. They're bringing up wide receivers. Isaiah Bond's going to be out there getting a lot of work. He's got a rookie quarterback now. That rookie quarterback's not going to be afraid to target him. This is going to be a big-time prospect that could hit for the Browns somewhere down the line if the quarterback play can get somewhat right. Luther Burden is a stash. Big-time stash play. And you don't need him for week 5. You may not need him against Washington. But eventually, they're going to start using him more. DJ Moore is becoming the wide receiver 2. Romeo Dunze is the wide receiver 1. Luther Burden has the talent to be a big-time asset for this team. Remember, he missed a lot of training camp. He missed a lot of mini camp. So he's still developing. He's still rough around the edges due to that. So it might be next year or like weeks 12 on forward. But he's a stash this season. I would not be surprised if he starts hitting soon. Jalen Coker. You could pick him up and throw him on IR. You could do that. He's going to be back soon. He's going to be out there on the field once he gets ramped up from being hurt. And when that happens, he's going to be a big get in this offensive system because he's going to be getting targets. He's going to be getting opportunity. Jalen Coker could have some upside later on down the road. He's a free get right now. Jalen Royals is a free get. Now, this may be for more deeper leagues right now, considering there's competition in this offense, but he looked good in training camp, minicamp, OTAs, and rookie camp. But Jalen Royals could emerge somewhere down the line. Worthy's banged up with that shoulder. He's playing through that. If that comes out again, they got to make some changes. Rashee Rice is coming back soon. They got Hollywood Brown, but Patrick Mahomes will spray it. And Jalen Royals could take in some of that spray later on down the road as he gets acclimated, as he's come back from these injuries. Luke McCaffrey has scored a touchdown back-to-back games. He's not getting tremendous volume. 6 total targets in the last 2 games. 24 total fantasy points in those games combined. I'm not chasing him, but this team is banged up at wide receiver. So if you're looking for a dart throw, you got the Chargers and Bears. Good luck to you. A.D. Mitchell is a deep ball dandy. And if he brings in that deep ball, it's over. He's splashing. 8 points on 3 targets. We got missed on that one play. And the thing about A.D. Mitchell here is he's a big play waiting to happen. We saw it in training camp. He was Randy Moss and everybody, and A.D. Mitchell could explode anywhere down the line. Alec Pierce might be back from that concussion soon. Considering what we're seeing from Danny Dimes, he could be out there scoring big-time points here in the near future. Marvin Mims got 6 targets against the Bengals, 20 fantasy points. He's going to be a major chaser, and he's a guy that has been acclimating to the Broncos throughout training camp. He always has a couple of spike weeks every year, but he's at least gotten you to the fairway 2 out of these 4 games. He's halfway there. Like, he's actually starting to put together some solid output. He's a big play waiting to happen with 4.3 speed, good ball skills. If this is your random pickup, like your cheaper dart throw, I'm not mad at it, considering the wide receiver waiver wire right now is kind of rotten. Tutu Atwell gets deep plays downfield. All he has to do is get behind the defense. Puka Nacua is getting all the targets with Devontae Adams getting the rest. So he's getting deep scraps. But if you need a random throw-in, you know the Rams are going to be in fire game scripts. He can beat them deep downfield. They're concentrating on those 2 other wide receivers. There's a chance he brings in a deep ball. He's probably going to bring in 2 more big plays this year, which could be lightning in a bottle during those fantasy weeks that could allow you to win those matchups. But those are the wide receivers we're looking at off the waiver wire. It ain't too pretty, but you got some guys coming up. However, you got to play the matchups well with these wide receivers. You got to understand some of these guys are straight upside. Some of these guys may not get the targets you're thinking of. It's not like running back where the next man up automatically gets those carries, that workload, kind of like Trey Sermon last year, who was able to hit like once out of every 3 games when he was anointed starter. Sometimes that wide receiver, when he gets bumped up, the ball just spreads around more in that offense. That happens a lot of the time. Backup wide receivers are less predictable. Keep that in mind as you work the waiver wire with these wide receivers throughout the rest of the season, next year, and the year after. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.